Kakadosh Bokato, Masechet Shekalim Daf 17. We're going to start though on 16b. Tetzayin Mubet, just on the last few lines where it says Halacha Bet, the Mishnah over there. The Mishnah says, where exactly would they come and they would start? Yeah, where would they come and they would start? Right, bowing down. So it says here they would start coming and bowing down. Arba Batzafon, because we said that there were 13 times where they were going to come and they were going to bow. So it's 4 in the north, right? 3 in the east, 2 in the west. Keneged Shlosha Asara Sha'arim, which are opposite the 13 places which are their entrances of the Bet HaMikdash. Dromim Smuchim Marav. What are the ones which are in the south, close to the west? Shar HaElyon, Shar HaDelek, Shar HaBechorot, Shar HaMayim. Yeah, so look. Up here, this is the Echal. This is the Ulam, the Echal. Everyone could see clearly? The Echal. And now on the top here, you have 4 entrances. Okay, so you have Shar HaElyon, right? Right beside the Shar HaElyon, right? You're going to have Shar HaDelek, Shar HaBechorot, and Shar HaMayim. You have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone sees it clearly? Okay. Then it says, right? Velama nikra shemo Shar HaMayim. So why was it called Shar HaMayim? So he says, Shebo machnisin slochit shel nisuch hamayim bechag. Because that's where they bring in like a plate on the Chag HaSukkot with the nisuch hamayim, with the water libations. Eliezer ben Yaakov says, no, it was called Shar HaMayim shebo hamayim mefakim v'atidin liot yotzim mitachat miftan habayit. Because there, the water, it says here, they're zormim, they flow. And in the future, it's going to come out from underneath there. Right? That's what it says over here. There's going to be a spring of water coming out from the Bet HaMikdash. So it's going to come from there. Leumatan, the opposite from them, which is going to be now in the north. So in the north, you're going to have a Sluchim Marav Shar Yechonia. Yeah, you're going to have Shar Yechonia. Shar Yechonia, Sha'ar HaKorban Anashim. So interesting, here it calls it Shar HaNitzot. Why is it calling it here Shar Yechonia? Shar HaKorban, Shar HaNashim, and then Shar HaShir. Interesting. Here we have it as Shar HaNitzot. But look, on the bottom, you have Shar HaNitzot. So here it's calling it Shar Yechonia. Then you have the Shar HaKorban, Shar HaNashim, and then Shar HaShir. Okay, the other 4. So now it says, why is it called Shar Yechonia? Shebo yatsa Yechonia begalut. Yeah, because there he was able to go out to Galut. Right, that's where he went out to Galut, exile. Now, when we're talking about now in the east, so you had Shar Nikanor. So remember here, Shar Nikanor. This is the Mizrach, the east, Mizrach. So this is the Nikanor gates, Nikanor gates. Okay, Ushne Peshpeshin Ayulo. So they had 2 different Sharim, one on the right and one on the left. Ushnaim Ma'arav, and 2 on the west. Velo ya lahen Shem, and they had no name. Which means here, right, you had 2 of them on the west. Behind the Kodesh HaKodashim, you had 2 entrances. They had no names. There were no named doors. Okay, and you had Shar Nikanor here, right? And you had here. So therefore you had, right, you had another 5. Because here you have the 2 in the west, right? Shnaim Ma'arav. And you had Shar Nikanor, right? And 2 entrances here.
The north on the bottom?
The north is on the bottom, yes. North on the bottom, top is south, west, east. Remember that the Kodesh HaKodashim was in the west, not in the east. People, they always think that everything's always in the east. The Kodesh HaKodashim was in the west. It wasn't in the east. Okay? So those are the 15 those are the 13 in total. Okay? Fine. Says the Gemara Yud Zayin Amud Aleph. Matnitin. Our Mishnah is going in accordance to Abba Yosef ben Yochananhi. Ta'amar Baz, he said, Keneged 13 sharim, right? Because there's 13 entrances. Beram Kerabanan, however, though, according to the rabbis, there were Shiva sharim b'azara. There were only 7 in the full azara. So there wasn't 13, it was only 7. So al dated Rabbanan, according to the rabbis, so why did they have to do 13 then? So he says, just like we learned over there, there were 13 different pratzot, 13 different like entrances, that the Malchi Yavan, the kings of Greek, they breached. The Chashmonaim came and they were the ones that they fixed the breaches. So wherever there was a breach, they were commanded to do it. So therefore, it wasn't opposite the entrances, because there were only 7 entrances according to the rabbis. But rather, what happened? When the Greeks came into the Bet HaMikdash, they went and they breached 13 different places, and then the Chashmonaim came and they fixed those breaches. So therefore, they had to bow opposite every single breach. Okay? Ketiv, it's written, it's written by Sharamayim that there's going to be that day that water will come out from Yerushalayim. Tani mi bet kodesh kodashim ad parochet kekanes silai vekilai. Says, you know, from the kodesh kodashim until the parochet, right? It's going to be, there's going to be like karnehem. It's going to be like very thin things coming out. Okay. So it says over here, mina parochet until mizbach hazahav kekarneh chagavim. Mimizbach hazahav until the azarot, it's going to be like a chut shel sheti. Min azarad miftan habayit kechut shel erev, mikam ve'elach kemipi hapach, which means like this, right? From, let's go from the beginning. From the kodesh kodashim until the parochet. This is the kodesh kodashim. This is the parochet. The parochet is what divides between the kodesh kodashim, right, and the echal. So from there to there, you're going to have like the karnehem, right, like very thin karnaim, thin horns coming out. That's how the water is going to look like. From the parochet until the mizbach hazahav. This is the parochet. This is the mizbach hazahav. Right here, the golden mizbeach. The golden mizbeach is found in the middle of the echal. Okay? So from there until the golden mizbeach, it's like the grasshopper's horns. From the mizbach hazahav, which is here, until the azarot, which is over here, you have the azarat kohanim, azarat Israel. So there, right, he says it's going to be like a chut shel sheti. It's going to be like a long stream, like a arigav, like when you're sewing, right, which is thicker. From the azarot until the miftan habayit, until the end of the Bet HaMikdash, it's like a chut shel erev, okay, which is going to be even longer, which is going to be even more thicker. From then onwards, outside, it's going to be like a pach katan, like a small jug. So that's going to be like the stream coming out. Okay? Ketiv etzretem v'inei mayim mefakim mikatef haymanit, v'etzet ha'ish mikadim v'kav yado v'yamed 1000 pe'ama v'virenu b'mayim mi'afsam ad karsula v'yamod. So it's going to come, meaning basically that on the Malach, he was showing the Yecheskel that the way that the water was going to come out is going to come up until his ankles. Which means until the knees. Until the loins, until the waist. That not even a big boat will be able to go through it. Right? My time, what's the reasoning? It says, right? Why can't they go through a boat? Why can't a boat go through water? So it says, Kigawa mayim meisachu. Because it says it's going to go, what does it mean, meisachu? Milashut. That means it's going to go with such a strong stream, right, that you won't be able to actually, it'll be too strong for it to start swimming or to start going into it. It will be impossible. Amar Rav Chuna, says Rav Chuna, Be'atrin karu l'shayat shachvana. In our place, we call swimming shayat shachvana. So that's why when it comes shachu is lashut, is to actually swim. Uferes yadav bekilbo, ka'asher yefares hashochel lishchot. So they're spreading it out just like they're going to come and they're going to start swimming. Mai meisachu, Amar Rabbi Yosef beRabbi Bun, mi mayin de mitmallim be'alma. Waters which are zochim dabrim aleim ba'olam in the world. K'tiv, it's written b'yom ha'u yeh makor niftach lebet David Yerushalayim lechatat nida which means that this Nachal is going to be for Bet David and for Yoshvei Yerushalayim, right? So he says, why is it written Dafka Bet David and Yoshvei Yerushalayim? All Israel could purify themselves there. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel ben Nachman Meshem Rabbi Yonatan, Bet Davidvad Yoshvei Yerushalayim keshelim nidal uchatat. From Bet David until Yoshvei Yerushalayim, which that's where it was that the Malchut Bet David, they had a place in Yerushalayim for their kingdom. So the waters were kosher, whether it is for Tvilat Nida or for anybody that's actually tameh, for them to do Tvilat, to dip, to immerse in a mikveh, ul chatat, for the waters of the chatat. Mikam ve'elach, from then onwards, meitarovotem. It's considered like a mixture of waters, because they're not any more spring water. So therefore, it's going to be kosher for a nida, but it's going to be pasul for the mechatat, for the water ma'im chayim of a chatat, for the paraduma. Okay? So it says, Amar Rabbi Lazar, says Rabbi Lazar, the waters which are going down like a katafras. Katafras is like, it's like a slant, a slope. So therefore it's going to be pasul for nida and chatat. It's pasul for everything. K'tiv, it's written, this water is going down to the Galil. So it says, Yam shel Samchu. This is the waters of Samchu. Right? This is the Yam of Tveria, to the Kinneret in Tverias, Tiberias. Ubawa Yama. What does it mean they came to the Yama? So Yama Melach, the Dead Sea. Yeah, El Ayama Mutzim, it's the Yama Gadol, the Mediterranean Sea. Velama Nikra Shemo Mutzaim. So why is it called Mutzaim? It came out twice. That means it was twice that it came outside of its borders. Once during the Dor of Enosh and once during Dor of Palaga. During Enosh, that he's the grandson of Adam Rishon, the people started doing Avodah Zarah. So it says over there, since they started doing Avodah Zarah as a punishment, the Mediterranean came up, right, and it flooded a third of the world. Yeah, you knew that. It flooded a third of the world. That means this is talking about after the time of Noach. After Noach. Before Noach. This is before Noach. Okay, this is during the time of Enosh. Okay, so it came in and flooded a third of the world. Then after Noach was Dora Palaga. So during Dora Palaga, when they made the Tower of Babel, the Tower of Babylonia, going up to, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu spread them out, also he came and he took the waters of the Okeanos, and it also, he flooded them out also. Not complete flooding of the entire world like he did during the Noach, but he also flooded them out also as well. So there were two times that the Mediterranean went up above and it started flooding all over the place. And that's why it's called Mutzaim. Mutzaim because it was Shte Pamim Yatsa. Twice it came out. Right? That's why it's in plural, Mutzaim. Okay? Rabbi Elazar b'Shem Reb Chanina, Rishona Yatsa ad Calabria. He said the first time it went until the south of Italy, which is called Calabria. The second time it went until Kipe Barberia, until the northern part of Africa, right? Until the Okeanos. So it says, Rabbi Acha b'Shem Reb Chanina, Rishonei Yatzad Kipe Barberia. The second time it went until Akko, until Yafo. Ad potavo velo tosif, but it wasn't going to add on. Until Akko is going to come, it's not going to add more. Upo yashib gon galecha ad Yafo ashit gon galecha, until Yafo. Right, but that's it. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu stopped it. Right, so it didn't flood anymore. I understand if it's going to be Yama Gadol, Yama Melach, right, which is basically the Yama Tichon, the Mediterranean Sea, and or the Atlantic Ocean. Some people explain Yama Gadol, right? But it says and Yama Melach bishvil matekan, because their waters, right? They wanted to make it more sweet instead of how do you call it, of salty. But Yama Tveria, Yama Samchu. But one second, they're already sweet water. So why did you need now the waters of the springs coming to them? So answers the Gemara, lerabot degatam, in order that they should have more fish. That they're going to have a lot of different types of fish. Okay? So in order to have more and more fish, that's why they have it. Okay? Tani, we learned in a Braita. Amar Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, says Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, Maaseh shalachti letzaidan. I went once to Tzaidan. Ve'viu lefanai yoter mi-300 minei dagim b'tamchui echad. They brought me more than 300, right, types of species of fish, right, in one ke'ara. So imagine how many different types of fish there were. Okay, because of the ribui, the different types of species of fish. V'nirpeu hamayim bitzotav ugva ve'lo yirafau lemelach nitanu. So what does this mean exactly? So it says it's written v'nirpeu hamayim, which means right. You say that the waters were cured, and then you say it wasn't cured. Decide. So he says no, it's a makomhu. It's a place. It's not that the waters were cured. V'lo yirafu. It means v'nirpeu hamayim in the water, and then it says in the water also we came to a certain place. It was given right. It became sweetened waters. It's written, all of a sudden it's going to go all different types of etzmachal. So he says, Tani Amar Yehuda, says Yehuda, he says, since right in this world it's going to be the tevuah is coming for the 6 months. And the ilan, that means tevuah grows every 6 months. Grains is 6 months. Trees is 12 months. But in the future, tevuah is going to be bringing out its fruit after 1 month, and a tree after 2 months. My tama, what's the reasoning? So says the Gemara, lechadashav yivaker. Right? Since it's a lechadashav is plural, which means 2 months. Amar Rabbi Yosef says Rabbi Yosef, since nowadays it's 6 months, and a tree does 12 months, but in the future it's going to be 15 days. And an ilan is going to be 1 month. During the times of Yoel Navi, it was 15 days. And they brought the korban omer. My tama, what's the reasoning? So it comes out that was the miracle that happened. That was after 15 days. So 15 days it's going to come. Okay. So ask the Gemara, if you're going to tell me that it's for Chodashav Yivakeh means 2 months, what are you going to tell me then if it's going to be 15 days and 1 month? So he says, every single month, it's going to bring new fruits, new grains. Okay, and then it's going to have a trufa is like a remedy. So it says, Rabbi Yochanan says, so somebody that's going to come and eat it, it's going to be like a food. And therefore, it's going to be like a trufa here means like a mazon. It's going to be food, so you can eat the leaves. Mamash, you're going to be eating leaves of the tree. You're going to be a real vegetarian, yeah? And you're going to be sustained, but just by that. Rav Shmuel, one of them says, La'atir peh shelemalan, right? To come and it's going to actually cure the people that cannot speak. People that are deaf mute, right? They're mute, they're going to eat it and it's going to cure them. The Chadaman, one of them says, La'atir peh shelematan. It's going to open up the women which are barren. All of a sudden they're going to eat it and it's going to make it that they'll be able to conceive. Okay. When Nebuchadnezzar came to Israel to get rid of Yoyachim, the king of Judah, he came and he sat down by this place which is by Antochia. Okay, so they came out. And they said, says what? You want to destroy the Bet HaMikdash? And he told them, that I gave him as a king, Tinuli, give him to me, and I go. So they went and they told him, right? He took the keys of the Bet HaMikdash and he went to the Hechal, right? The roof of the Hechal. He threw the keys. Yeah? One of them says, Zarkani threw them, but they never came down. One of them said, all of a sudden, like a hand came down from the heaven and took the keys. Meaning he threw them up. One Shita says he threw them up, but it just never came down. Imagine, you throw it up, and where did it go? It's there, but just disappeared. Second opinion was, no, they threw it up, and like a type of a hand came down and took it up. Yeah, Kevin Shirau call Yudzayin Mubet, Kol Chore Yehuda Ken, since everybody saw that, yeah, Alul Rosh Kevin met. They all went up and they threw themselves down. Adu Zichtiv, Masagech Israel Malecha Foki Kalita Kulach Regagot, Tishomel Iram. So they all went up and they all did that. Wow. Okay. Fine. So it says here that they all died through that death and not through sword or through war. They just basically committed suicide by jumping off from the roofs of the Echal. Fine. Next, Halacha Gimel, Yudzayin Mubet, Mishnah. There were 13 tables, money changers in the Bet HaMikdash. 8 tables made out of marble. In the Bet HaMitbachaim, which were on the north, or here it's not actually tables of money changers. Here it's tables, right? So they were in the Bet HaMitbachaim. So here they have them. This is called Bet HaMitbachaim. So here you have the 8 tables. Okay? Very good. Exactly. That's what the shech the animals. So it says here, that they come and they rinse out the innards of the animals, of the sacrifices. And they were made out of marble because it's cold. So since it's cold, it's going to make sure that the meat does not become bad. There's going to be 2 tables on the west of the ramp, which they go up to the Mizbeach. Here it is. Shulchan Kesef, Shulchan Shaish. Look at the ramp. This is a ramp going up to the Mizbeach. Here, 2 tables to the west of the ramp. Okay, 2 tables right here. Everyone sees it? So it says there, one of them was made out of marble, one of them was made out of silver. On the marble one, they put the limbs, which they're going to bring up to the Mizbeach. And on the silver one, they're going to put the Klei Sharet, right? The utensils of the Bet HaMikdash in order to use. Ushnaim ba'ulam. 2 of them were in the ulam. Remember, this is called the ulam. This is the ulam. This is like a chamber, right? And then this is the echal. So in the ulam, there were 2. Shulchan here and shulchan here. Shulchan zahav out of gold and shulchan shaish. Okay? So it says, Ushnaim ba'ulam, mibifnim al petach habayit. One of them made out of marble, and one of them made out of the gold. On the marble one, they put the lechem hapanim when it's going in, right, into the echal. Ve'al, and on the zahav, the golden one, right, they used to do it b'yetziato when they were taking it out. Shemalim b'kodesh v'lo was you always go up and not down. So you're going up from marble to gold, but you're not going to go down. Echad shel zahav mibifnim, one of gold on the inside of the echal. Shalav lechem hapanim tamim. This is the shulchan zahav. So this is the real shulchan that everyone knows about. Here, shulchan lechem hapanim, opposite the menorah. This inside the echal. This is the echal, shulchan lechem hapanim and menorah. And here's the kodesh kodashim. So here's the shulchan called shulchan lechem hapanim. Okay. Shalav lechem hapanim tamim. Says the Gemara. Tani, we learned al shel kesef. He said when you're going in, I thought that when it's going in, the lechem hapanim was going on of kesef. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yosef Shem Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Yitzhak Rabbi Chanina Mateba B'Shem Rabbi Yochanan. Let kan shel kesef minen shehu martiach. He said no, it wasn't of silver because silver becomes hot. So therefore, if it's going to go inside the hechal and you're bringing in the breads and it's going to be martiach, it's not going to be good because if it's going to be boiling hot, it's going to make the bread bad. They don't want to make the bread bad, so that's why they prefer that it should be marble, right? In order that it's cold. Okay. Lo ke'entani ze echad min hanisim shenasu Bet HaMikdash. It says the Gemara 1 second, but didn't we learn that was one of the miracles of Bet HaMikdash? That just like they used to put the bread on something hot, they used to take it out hot. Shneimar lashum lechem chom biyomi lekecho, which means that it was hot and fresh, just like the first day. So that was one of the miracles. So what's the problem? So put it on a table of silver, and what do you care? And says the Gemara, Rabbi Shmuel Levi Omar, Rabbi Shmuel Levi says, En maskirim ma'aseh nisim. Yes, but we're not somech on the nes. Meaning, even though it's true that was one of the miracles that happened, but we don't want to rely on a miracle. In a sense, since we don't want to rely on the miracle, you can't put it on a table out of silver because then you're relying upon a miracle. Don kumeh Rabbi Ila. They asked in front of Rabbi Ila, Lo yasham lechem maula nichol l'Shabbat haba. What happens if there was no new bread to place on the shulchan in the echal? Right? What are they going to do? Was it kosher to just leave it there for another week? And can you leave the same bread there for another week? So and he says, he says, yeah, because it has to be even pasul, which means it always has to be their bread. So if there's no new bread for whatever reason it is, so therefore they have to leave the old bread there, even if it's going to be on, for another week or the third Shabbat, doesn't matter, and you still have to leave it there, but there always has to be bread there. The Gemara continues, Asara shulchanot asa Shlomo. Do you know there were 10 tables that Shlomo Melech made in the Bet HaMikdash? And he placed it in the echal. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Okay, so therefore inside the hechal. So remember, here you already had the 8. Okay, here you already had 2. That's 10. Here you had another 2, right? That's 12. Sorry, over here in the ulam, another 2. That's 12. And here was a 13 one. We said there were 13 tables, just like there were 13 entrances. And now Shlomo Melech came and he added another 10 inside here. 5 here, 5 here. He added 10 over here. Okay?
10 more.
10 tables, yes.
26.
So it's going to be 23 in total. Right? But he had another 10. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Okay? In Tomar, right? He says, in Tomar, Chamisha badarom v'chamisha batzafon. Right? V'alo en shulchan kasher batzafon. He says, you can't say that it's going to be on the north and the south, because the shulchan could only be kosher on the north. Shneimar v'shulchan titel instead of tzafon. Matamon l'masor is going to teach you chamisha miyamin v'chamisha b'tzafon. 5 on the right and 5 on the left. So he says, Ela, but rather 5 on the right of the shulchan of Moshe and 5 on the left of the shulchan of Moshe. So it comes out that there were 11 tables in the Echal. 1, the original one, the Moshe Rabbeinu made, and then you had another 10 of Shlomo Melech, 5 on the right and 5 on the left. Afal Pichen, and even so, Lo ya mesader ela b'shulchano shel Moshe bilvad. The Kohanim would always only use the one of Moshe Rabbeinu. Shneimar, that the shulchan shel lav lechem hapanim, that they always the one with they had a lechem hapanim. So according to the Shita, I don't know why you needed another 10, because you would only use the other one anyway. But fine. Yeah, but there's an arguing opinion now. Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, no, al kulana ya mesader. He used to do it on all of them. That means sometimes they used to do it on this one, sometimes another one. Shneimar ta shulchanot v'aleim lechem hapanim, on the shulchanot. Shulchanot is in plural. So Tani, we learned in a Braita, Mizrach u'Ma'arav hayu netunim. They were placed from the east to the west. Meaning, how was the table placed? This table now is east to west. East to west, or is it north to south? So this table here is east to west. So the same thing. The shulchan, you look here, the shulchan is east to west. Huh? What are you going to argue with?
It's horizontal. How do you know which arrow is pointing?
Because the table is going from east to west, or west to east, either way, whichever one it is. But it's either east to west or west to east, but it's not north to south. If I would change the table like this, then it's going, then it'll be north to south. You understand? So it says now, right? So Tani, we learned Mizrach Manavim, these words of Rabbi. Rabbi Shimon says no, it was going north to south. According to the Mandamar, that was going east to west is good because Kulon Ruin L'Sharet, because then all the tables were actually fitting to use, right? Because they were all going to the same direction. But if you're going to tell me north to south, it comes out that the table was in the south. That means it comes out that there were 5 tables to the south, right? And 1 second, it's only going to be kosher in the north, not in the south. So answers the Gemara on Yudchet Amud Aleph on the top, right? It doesn't answer it because that's in brackets. You're right. It finishes off with a question. It finishes off with a question. I thought it was going to continue with an answer, but it doesn't. It finishes off with a question. You're right. That according to this explanation, if you're going to tell me that it's going north to south, it comes out that the shulchan then was in the south, and we already know, right, that the shulchan always has to be in the north, not in the south. Look, here, this is the north. Safon, north. The shulchan is in the north, on the bottom. This is the menorah, this is the shulchan. So if it's going to be in the north, if you're going to tell me now that there were 5 tables and they're going like this way, so it comes out that if it's going to be from north to south, it comes out that the shulchan was also in the north, right? Is the shulchan is going to be in the south, sorry. Not only in the north, also in the south, because you had 5 tables also up here. So that's in the south. You can't be in the south. It has to be only in the north. Okay? So Bezat Hashem, tomorrow, then Bezat Hashem, we continue with Daf Yudchet Amud Aleph, 18A1. Have a wonderful day, everyone.